some are in Perth, and so it makes the timing is a little bit difficult. So this might be the first time at one of the Express PDs, so please feel free to ask any questions. Sometimes I have a presentation ready to go. Sometimes it's more open-ended Q&A type thing. So today I just wanted to show what I've found with using the comprehensible input focused graded readers, the JapanEasyReads graded readers, is that it is a little bit of a different mind shift for some teachers. It does fast track and avoid I suppose, the amount of time spent in class to really drill the students with hiragana characters individually. And so with the approach is cold character reading, which I've spoken about in other webinars. So I'm happy to talk more about that. But in case you're familiar with it already, I won't go into too much detail. But basically, the idea is that the students have had so much oral input that is really comprehensible that when they come to do shared writing and shared reading, they're reading, they're almost hearing the little Japanese voice in their head, so they are preempting a lot of the language. So I've had some really wonderful results from this early literacy project, which is what I presented on at the Adelaide conference. So today's, I just wanted to highlight one of the resources that I've been working on, which I think really supports teachers as far as the feedback that I've got is that, yes, I love to use more readers and to do more literacy, but I just don't know where to start and how to actually use some of the resources. So I thought, okay, what's the best way to support teachers to do that? And so this is how this came about. So this is a working document. So this is being currently used last term with the early literacy project that we rolled out in a school in Melbourne, and we're continuing on. We've had really good, very positive results with the students. Not only their reading, but also, and perhaps for me, most importantly, their perception of themselves as a reader of Japanese. So that has definitely shifted quite considerably. So that's been great. So let's go through and just maybe I'll whip through to give you a bit of an idea. And then if there's any questions at all, please feel free to interrupt me. No problem at all. So basically, we follow this 5 steps. We do a mindful reading. So last term we did a password where they came in and they had one of the key words and they would practice writing that mindfully. So it'd be only 3 minutes or so, but it was a good chance for them to just calm down and settle into the class and front load a little bit of the key vocab. This term, we've decided, because we've built up their reading capacity, we wanted then to shift to a mindful reading password. So I'll explain that. The second part is the student voice. So that real oral input stage that is really student-centered. And there are different activities that we do for that. And again, I'll explain that as we go through. Then there's the shared writing, and that's been really key as far as demonstrating in real time using the oral input that the students have in the class they've discussed in the student voice stage. We use that for the writing. And then there's a shared reading activity. There's a few different activities to choose from, and we follow up with an exit ticket. For this particular project, we have been collating some data using Plickers, which is an online, I'm not sure if you're familiar with that, it's an online program that the students have a card and their own card. So they move the card around and the teacher then goes through and scans the class, and the results are immediate. So that's been really, really interesting data to have to gauge the students' reading fluency and recognition of the characters, despite the fact that we haven't actually focused on drilling, if you will, drilling the hiragana, individual hiragana. So that's the format. And whoop, it's jumped ahead. Apologies. Here we go. Oh, we're right at the back. Here we go. Okay, so we've done that. So basically we followed this format. So a do now or a password, the oral input, the collaborative writing, collaborative reading, and the exit ticket there. So that's the overview. And the teacher has this to focus on, the learning intention and the success criteria. We move then into, as I said, the mindful passwords, the reading part. And so the goal is for the students to be reading so for year 2, this is for year 2, the Boris book. I'm not sure if you're familiar with the JapanEasyReads books. No, okay. I'm sorry, I don't have one right here with me, but
Boris sounds familiar. Is
okay,
that the
yes.
book you wrote?
Yes, yes.
Ah, yeah.
Yeah. So this is the very first entry level
Mm,
book,
mm,
so level
mm,
0, and
mm.
really limited vocab. There's only 15 unique words. So there's lots of repetition, but it's not in a predictable way. It's it's uh, it's very much telling the story, but the students, because it's limited high frequency words, the students get lots of opportunity to see the characters over and over, and we focus our oral input using those high frequency words too. So this was an example of the reading one. So they're at this stage now. Last term, we did lots of oral input stuff. We really wanted to focus more on giving the students an opportunity to read. So, hi, Tessa. So this is one way that we thought we would try. So this is part of the first maybe 3 or 4 pages of Boris. And so the students come in and they're mindfully, quietly reading and focusing in, and they're just they just circle the ka, underline the des. So it's just an opportunity for the students to really reread and revisit some of the key language that we will be using in Boris. So that's their page. This is a page that the students, so there's 2 there. The teacher cuts it in half, and the students glue it in, and they're doing that in their books. And then we can see this is the answer page. So the teacher then goes through and checks really quickly there how they went. The students can do a self-check. And the student voice section is perhaps the most important. We have trialed lots of different things that have been, high engagement. One of them is picture talk, which is what I'm showing you here. But we've also done creating a one-word image, which was at the end of last year. That was while I was working with them for the 2 weeks, and we did a one-word image, which is a fabulous activity to do. Super duper high engagement from the students. The teacher was away, that's why I was there filling in. And this week she said to me, they're still talking in Japanese about their characters. So I'm happy to do another webinar or talk to you more about the one-word images, but I really recommend that's been a great activity to do. So picture talk here. So we've got the key language here, and it is really a chance for the whole class then just to be chatting about the things that they can see there, and the teacher to be asking questions about it. So these are the key vocab that we are really targeting, but other high frequency words can be used if we're flowing on with where the students are taking us with their discussions. So, we could include very easily gaskides or shimasu, but really we're trying to just get some input of these words, which will be the keywords in Boris' story. So that's a little bit of chit chat. Then there's some picture pair share activity where the students so they've had the whole class discussion, and then there's just a chance for them to create their own language and sentences and discuss that with their partner. This is for grade 2. After all that rich oral input, we do a shared writing activity. So what I've found has been an absolute game changer for me as far as keeping the language personalised to the students, but also at a level that they can understand and then connect with the reading. I'm really big on this literacy, is something called Write and Discuss. And it's probably much easier to demonstrate than to explain, but basically the teacher is guiding. So after a rich discussion in Japanese about something, so if we were talking about the picture talk, we would then recap that. So, asking what was there, what color it was, and as you're asking and prompting the students, you're writing it out in real time, so the students can see then the way that the sentence is being connected up. So that's been something that we have ensured that we have left time each lesson to do, and the beauty about a shared writing that's really targeted like this is that then that becomes the shared reading. And in the case of this project that we've been doing, there are 4 classes of each level. So then we recycle that text to the other class. So there's 4 similar but slightly different texts of shared writing that we can use with the students. So that's been a great resource too, an easy resource. As I said, we use the plickers then to track how the students are going, using and reading, specifically reading the Japanese that we've been introducing to them. So I'll move over that. So then we do some shared reading, and so the shared reading, as I said, could be a recap of what the students had discussed previously. So this is one of the examples here. And then we read that together, and you'll notice that the proper nouns are in English or Romaji, and that is very strategically done so that we're not overloading cognitively the students at this early stage of their reading journey in Japanese, but there is a real focus on reading for meaning. And I've got some wonderful footage of the students in years 2, 3, and 4 reading really, really confidently. This sort of thing. So I think I feel quite strongly about, making sure that the students have a really positive and successful reading experience as soon as possible. So to see the year twos being able to read, quite a lengthy text with a really confident, strong voice has been really rewarding. As I said, then the shared writing becomes the shared reading. This one is a quick game that's also, it's called Word Spotting, and I believe this one I first heard from Gianfranco Conti, so this is one of his examples. So basically the students are sitting, so it's a class with 3 or 4 volunteers, and each volunteer has one of these characters, one of these word cards. And so that's their word. So they need to, the teacher then will read out. So we'd read these ones together again to make sure we know what each of them are. So lots of repetition in different ways, but there's a lot of script there too. And so once we've read through that again, shared reading, then the teacher will have the volunteers at the front, and the teacher reads out one of those sentences. And so the students have their own card, and the rest of the class needs to listen and watch to see and try and work out who's got which card. So if it was watashi wa Boris desu, the students at the end of that sentence, the students that have those cards stand up. And then the next one, Boris wa shirokuro desu ka? So then if I had wa, for example, I'd be up again. And so really it's just another opportunity for the students to receive the input again in a different and, keeping it a little bit novel. And the students, so it's a reading but a listening activity also. So that's called Word Spotter. And then we follow up with an exit ticket and some additional activities there I've added here. So before we go into, I'm not sure if you've heard of this one dice, one pen. So they're working in pairs, and they roll. If they roll a 6, they then translate question 1. So they're writing down, they've got their own paper, but they have to share the pen and they have to share the dice. So if I roll a 6, I can then translate the first one. So nandesu, what is it? I'll write that down. And then meanwhile, my partner is trying to roll a 6, and I can keep translating until a 6 is rolled. And then I have to hand over the pen, and my partner, then my competitor, needs to translate. That's one in the full script as well. So that's basically one lesson, and then that process, that stage process there is repeated. So that's a really quick snapshot, but something I wanted to give the community the heads up that that's a support there for them when they're using the JapanEasyReads books. So working on trying to provide as much support as possible, but very much with a comprehensible input lens onto the activities, and also just to give a little bit of an update on the project and to let everybody know that it'll continue for next term, sorry, for this term as well. So if there are other teachers that are interested in trialing some of these, I'd be really keen to support anybody who was interested. So, それで、質問がありますか？
私は、I teach the youngest one this year is year 8,
うん、
and year 8, year 9, year 10, 11, 12.
う
But
ん、
year 8 is still compulsory.
う
I
ん、
teach online, so each class I have about maximum 10, could be around 8 on average. So that's how the environment that I work in, and I have twice a week lesson, 50 minutes.
right. Yeah.
And so my question is that the reader book,
うん、
year 8 is still beginner. My year 8 is very still beginner because that many of them, being an online school, they come from different schools as well,
うん、
or they just changed schools and come to our online setting. So I kind of, yeah, I have to start from the very beginning, hiragana, and then an introduction, that type of thing.
うん、
So my question will be, whatever you're creating, can you recommend any books good for around year 8, year 9?
うん、absolutely. So one that comes to mind at the moment is we've got Boris, which is this one, which is, in all, if they're absolute beginners, I think the I think Boris can be definitely adapted to, they could start from level 0 if they're beginners, and if they're if there's different levels within your class, if there's been some transit and whatnot. So I would say with Boris, if you could definitely use Boris for years 8 and even year 9 if they're beginners. The benefit of that is that they have then really the students would have then a really solid understanding and a positive experience of the readers. And then, so Boris and the three, there's a sort of a hat trick there. There's Boris, Benji, and Bonnie, and they're almost like a little set. So there's lots of recycling within those three, that group of three. After those three, if you felt that the students maybe wanted something a little bit more challenging, I think Burgerman, and I can show you, I can show you an example here of this. Burgerman is a great one, would be perfect for year 7, year 8, year 9 even. The high frequency verbs are des, janai, skides, and there's some adjectives like oishi, oishikunai, and yoroshiku onegaishimasu, so, and konnichiwa, some.
強い、強くない。
Thank you. Yeah. So I think Tessa has used it earlier this year or last year, Tessa?
I used it at the end of last year.
And that was with your 7s or 8s?
That was with 7s. I'm actually contemplating using it with my year 9, 10 class though.
I think you can definitely stretch that and extend it for sure. It's I don't know whether this might, so this is
You must know.
follow the similar process here. So there the kanji there. This is a brain break. This is the reading passwords that we're introducing. And then, so we use picture talk here. So this would be really, really good with these sevens, eights, or nines. It's you can get a lot of mileage out of these crazy pictures here, but just using limited language. And then recapping, same sort of thing. With this one, I've given an explanation of the write and discuss, and you won't need that. But like here is an example of the collaborative reading. So this is one that I've prepared to give a bit of an idea, but I would encourage, like I said before, that write and discuss is really important. So you could write and discuss that, maybe get 2 or 3 sentences from the students, and then you recycle that one, and then you collaboratively read this one as well, this shared one. Again, this is the word spotting game that I spoke to you about, and yeah, there's these ones here, but so that one definitely, I think, super duper appropriate for your year level. The other one that is just a new one, which is has a bit of culture in it, and that one I think it's a little bit more advanced, but there's lots of repetition, and it's called the Samurai Sword. So it has the same high frequency des, genai, imas, arimas, and ikimas. So there's lots of recycling of those core verbs. So that's a long-winded answer to your question. I'm not sure whether it's fully. So as Tessa can attest, the Burgerman would be completely suitable. That's a little bit more challenging, a little bit more vocab, but still completely doable for that year level. If you wanted to go safe and use Boris and that group of 3, there's lots of activities that like movie talk with little clips using there's lots of additional activities that we could add to extend, I suppose, and make sure that we're hitting the interest of the students at that age bracket. But I really do feel that it's not so much the age so much as the language that's used there with the book. And I think that if there's enough interesting input before reading, there's generally no problem with the reading. I think that it's the main thing, the main focus is I think should be the success that we're setting the students up for reading success, and this is one way that I've found has been working for the general, not just those top students, but it's a great way to connect with the students that might be, not consider themselves language people, if that makes sense. Yeah. So yes, those 3. I'm not sure if you know I can certainly show you the other books that And the other thing too is that they're both in scaffolded or extension. So depending on your curriculum, if personally, I really like to give the students the extra support with the scaffolding, and then you know, if extensions needed, you can then suggest for them to have a go at the extension ones, which are full script. But these ones here, so these are level 1. These are like a bit of a set here. There's imas and arimas. It talks about the geography of Japan. I like to use these ones because it's a really gentle way of talking about Sadako as a person that she lived in Hiroshima. So it doesn't go into anything deep at all, but it just more for the where is Hiroshima and some main things around Hiroshima. But again, ski, imas, arimas. There's a little funny twist on hashi and hashi, the chopsticks and the bridge. These ones here have more language. I wouldn't recommend these ones for your beginners at this stage, but I would probably, the samurai sword is, as I said to you, is quite a good one as far as, yeah, using lots of repetition of ni ikimasu and arimasu ga arimasu. And there's also a nice little gender reveal at the end there, where it's actually this mysterious samurai is actually a woman. So that's a fun one too, that connects in with the year 8 humanities topic here in Victoria anyway, with Japan under the shoguns. So that's quite a good one for that year level, for year 8 and beyond. I think it definitely could. Yeah. So I've probably done enough talking. Have you got any questions?
Lisa, do you?
Pardon?
I'm just wondering if it's okay. Yes, I do. So if I were to use this CI, as I say, I have only 2 lessons a week,
Yes.
right? And yeah, we are using AC, but nowadays in essay, we're talking about essay curriculum, so more conceptual based unit of work. So how am I trying to think how to incorporate this into the lessons, and then not just the for fun activity ones, but continuation without though sacrificing other things that I need to cover.
What are the other things that you need to cover? What are the pressing things, I suppose, that you're concerned about?
So now we are very strongly recommended to make a conceptual planning and make a scope and sequence how to build up, lots of reflections, lots of cultural comparisons, and maybe reflection can be done, I mean, has to be done in English.
Yeah.
But because that the students start learning Japanese, the entry is very various, I mean, different. Therefore, we need to cater for different levels, and then have to make sure students understand the purpose of learning language. Not necessarily we are saying that to be able to speak, but understand a bigger picture. That's what we are talking about. So I've been planning according to this direction, conceptual planning and essay curriculum, disposition, capabilities. So looks like, okay, it's still early stage, but my year 8, I'm thinking to call the unit like belonging
Yeah.
and belonging and term 3, I would start talking about home, belonging to home, I think.
Mm,
That's what I think. Yeah. And what is home, though? What does it mean, home? We
mm,
had our first lesson this week, so we talked about, yeah, to you, what does home mean? Does it have to be physical or could it be different?
mm,
Uh, yeah, we talked about that so that students would not just to be able to speak like there is a my room is this, or in my room there is this and that,
mm,
but yeah, try and deepen the reason of why we are learning this, and then just the Japanese happen to be a tool.
mhm, mm. Yeah.
So that's what we are
Yeah.
grappling with right now.
Yeah. Yeah. I think that conceptual idea and that planning is really, I think it's really critical and for the bigger picture stuff. Um, but also, I think that it does lend itself then to some flexibility about how you design that within under that umbrella, I suppose.
Yeah.
Certainly, that's something that pops into my head, and Tessa's probably familiar with this too because it's a Dr. Liam Printer thing. But um, he has a he has uh, what's it called? They're a not an IB school,
Yeah,
so
he's an
they
IB school.
yeah they
So they're
they
concept based too.
totally. And one of his,
Mm.
when you were talking about belonging and, home and that sort of thing, one of the things that he does, which I think's fantastic, is he has a unit or the topic of belonging and also one of the things that the students do then is they design a house that they think is really inclusive and what needs to be there to ensure that, people with disabilities are welcome there and what needs to be there. How would they design that? What needs to be included and what do you need to think of to ensure that everybody it's a welcoming place. So I'm sorry I can't go into any more detail, but I know that he has talked about it on one of his podcast episodes, and I think I love that whole idea of um, yeah, looking at that conceptual.
Inclusivity.
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, that's right.
What
So
is it? Sorry, I missed that, Tessa.
Inclusivity.
Oh, okay,
Yeah.
sure.
And he does another unit on empathy. I'm not sure
Ah,
what as the concept. And he
mm.
does because he teaches Spanish, so he does the bullfighting in
Oh, yep, yep.
Spain, and they talk
Mm.
about, looking at it from the perspective of the bulls and the matadors and the people, and so I don't know. They always make it sound so easy when they come up with these concepts and then the things to match.
yeah,
But
yeah.
yeah, it does. A lot of IB schools seem to do CI, but
Mm.
yeah, because it does seem to fit with that concept because you can kind of use any topic as long as you can
Mm.
make the language
That's right.
work. So,
That's
That's
right.
right. Yeah. As far as like hearing that, I'm thinking then, the samurai sword would be the best fit, I think, for that because um, it does talk about, well, it's a missing sword, but the
mm,
underlying storyline is that, um, it's actually a female samurai and
mm,
Mm.
you know um is that is that an unusual thing and where does
yeah,
she belong and
it
where
is about gender and
And
what women should be doing and what men should be doing and
Mm.
all these
Oh,
kinds of
wow.
things.
Okay. Year 10, I am thinking that I call my unit big picture, roles and
Mm.
responsibilities. So,
Mhm.
um, term 2, we did do the 修学旅行, the school excursion, and then when you go
Mm.
somewhere else, you have to be responsible. You have to follow the rules, especially if you're going to go overseas. So we discussed that way. And then term 3, I'm thinking that what was the term 3? Roles and responsibilities. I think I forgot, but welcome to country, that kind of thing, maybe. When you, oh, I have to revisit my thinking, but yeah, big unit of roles and responsibilities. So, yeah, at home, what kind of responsibilities teenagers would have in Japan, and how about you? What are you doing at home?
Mhm.
And that your talk of agenda,
Mm.
yeah,
Yeah. Yeah.
fit
Um,
in nicely, I
So
think.
what language are you thinking of doing with that?
I'm teaching. Oh, you mean oh, sorry.
What sort of grammar would you,
Yeah,
yeah, I guess. How are you
sure.
approaching it?
Yeah, sure. So for year 10s, um, 内 form, なければなりません. I have to wash, do the dishes. Please do this,
今日は
please
いけ
do
ませ
that.
ん。Mm.
Yeah. What else? May I do this? Or
So a
今日
lot of
ですね.
Teform,
Yeah, te form, night form.
Teform.
Yeah.
So this is one I was thinking about, Monique, because
mm,
I'll often in CI they talk about, oh, they just pick up these grammatical things through it and we do pop-up grammar, we just keep using them and they sort of pick them up
mm.
from that. But I can't see how you could really pick up the Teform just from hearing it, you know?
See, I would disagree, because I think just at the moment they're doing a lot of these the CI in the cloud. I've been to a lot of the checking out the conferences that are happening over in the States at the moment, and it just reminded me a couple of the presentations, just how using the TPRS stories and creating that using, so if it was shinakereba narimasen, if that's what you needed to make sure that the students could use and understand, you'd create the story around that. And that's the beauty of TPRS. It's just so any of those sort of structures, any of that grammar, like I wouldn't certainly do all of the TEP form all in one hit, but I would perhaps pick one or two of them and, construct a story around that, and, TPRS style story. And, I did that, it was quite a few years ago now, but with my year 10s. And, that was that it just goes in, and yeah, I think TPRS, the stories is definitely the way to go with that. And I think if they have, a really good grasp of a couple of those forms, yeah, the others will definitely, that will come, but I think you've got a far greater chance for that to be actually acquired rather than just learnt for the next test. So it sort of comes back to, what are we teaching for? Are we teaching for long-term acquisition,
Mm.
or are we just trying to tick off curriculum, you know, curriculum
Yeah.
requirements for a certain period?
I need a way to do it that's not TPRS though, because I just can't get I understand what TPRS is. I see other people doing it.
Yeah.
Looks great.
Mm.
Can't make it happen. It's just something. I'm not a natural storyteller. it doesn't, I overthink things. I put too
Yeah.
much detail in.
Have you used any of those scripts, like and stuck to the script? I know what you mean. It was frightening the first few times that I tried to do a story. But I think like with anything, it's the more you try, the more you do,
Mm.
the better you do get at it. But the scripts
Yeah.
certainly did help me. I
Well,
don't,
it's even before that. It's I just thinking of a story. I get there and I'm like, I can't think of a single way that I could use this, you know.
yeah. But what I have done in the past with those so there are things called trips scripts and they're in English, so it needs to be translated into, but they're only very, very short little scripts, and translating those into Japanese, and the story's already there done for you. And as long as you're doing lots of circling questions and, providing lots of chance for repeated exposure to that language chunk, um, that's that's the main thing. That's what I've found. But yeah,
Mm.
I see what you're saying. I totally agree. I think it can be frightening, but
Mm.
the script certainly did help me, and just trying to stick to the script.
Mm.
Was there a specific site that sounded like the name of somewhere that had these
Yeah, his
scripts?
I purchased my copy, like I said, it was quite a few years ago. And his name is Jim Tripp
I
with a
need a
D.
pen.
Um, and there's also
Jim check.
Jim
Well,
Tripp. Yeah. And
excuse me.
the other one is uh,
I
Anna.
think I've heard that name before. Hmm.
Yeah. I will find the link for the other one because I can't remember. He's been more recent, Jim Tripp, but the original OG person was Anna Mattow something. But I'll find a contact
Hmm.
link if you
Yeah.
like.
Mm.
I'll
So
share.
I've been using the Richard Petrucci ones as sort of story listening and drawing the pictures on the board and stuff. And that's been going down pretty well.
Mhm.
Um, and then trying to elaborate just a bit on the characters and stuff like that. I'm still not very good at that part, but
So, Tessa, maybe you could, what have you found helpful? I'm just thinking with Kazuko's sons, she's um, got sort of similar year levels to you, and you've had success with um, Richard's work there. Is there any pearls of wisdom for that year level, or you're not
um,
in, in
so
con?
I used he's got like three stories in his book. He's got a book called The Story Pit, which is just
Yeah.
little stories that he's made up and he's got little pictures that go with it, and
Mm.
so it's sort of pre-done for you and you just well, I have to practice the drawing usually. I'm not gonna lie.
Enjoy
But
that. Oh.
the kids love it. They find it hilarious. They'll make fun of your drawing, and then I make them get up and show me how well they can draw a cockroach, which is not that well. Um, yeah, so I did that with 910. I found they really enjoyed that. And I did it as a sort of house part of my house unit. So we looked at Japanese houses and we
Mm.
looked at objects in bedrooms and in the classroom. I tried to keep it mostly classroom based stuff that would be in both so that we weren't doing too much vocabulary.
Mm.
And then I did the two main story ones, which were mostly first one is arimas imas focused. So it's just stuff like there is a house, there is a big house, there is a I can't even think now. There is
Get
a room, there is a stairs, there is a basement, there is it's dark, there is a door, it's a red door, so it's very simple. And then the second one builds on it, and you go into the basement, into the red door, and there's a secret passage, and so
Ooh.
it's sort of, I think it's meant to be horror. We didn't make it to the third story because I feel like it stepped up grammatically quite a bit, but they enjoyed that. I did a couple of other sort of house-focused stories as well, like with positional language in them. They
Is
really
it
liked one. It was called,
sorry, same person, Richard?
yeah, they're all in his book. I might
Yeah.
even have that book.
I remember, Monique,
This
sorry,
one.
year 8 is belonging family. I'm talking about
got
family.
got
Yeah,
it.
yeah, yeah.
Yes. Yeah. Okay.
Mm,
Yeah.
Family.
mm.
Rightio.
Year 8 is family, term 3, belonging family. And then I think term 4 will be like a community, how they belong to the community, how they feel. And then maybe even because it's term 4, bring in celebration or something like a local event.
Mm-hmm. Yes.
Mm,
Yeah.
yeah. And then year 10 is that, yeah, as I said, roles and responsibilities. And I'm thinking that talk about home and
Yeah.
then the home different from house. But at the same time, I'm interested in teaching them like what's in the house,
Mm.
Japanese house typically, because I haven't really in middle years, haven't taught like
Mm.
housing or
Mm.
anything like that. So I thought that would be interesting, refreshing for me, something new.
Yeah. Yeah.
Mm.
Yeah. Okay.
Hmm.
Yeah.
So what Tessa said, I will have a look at it, maybe arimasu, imasu, like,
Yeah, it's called
directions.
this the
Yeah.
story pit.
Okay, story.
Um,
Yeah, I have
yeah,
heard of it. Yes.
Mm.
Mm.
it's been a useful stepping stone.
Mm.
Mm.
Yeah. Um, I did I did Boris as part of so we did sort of a family pet unit, and I did
Mm.
Boris as the more of the pet focused
Mm. Mm.
kind of side. I'm going
Mm.
to try it again this term with my
Mm.
year sevens.
Mm.
Um, Hopefully with a few new things, particularly from the ones you just showed, Monique.
Yeah.
I was like, oh yes, excuse me. Um, yeah, and I found they really enjoyed it. Um, I'm a bit worried. One of my classes this term only has 6 kids with pets, though, so I might have to go in a slightly different direction.
You know what
Mm.
you do then, Tessa, is you do a card talk where they draw a picture of a pet that they have or a pet that they want to have. So, they don't necessarily
Mm.
need to
Mm.
have a pet. And then, then you can sort of talk really naturally and, do you have it? Oh, you don't have it, but you want it. Uh, so I don't think necessarily they necessarily need to have a pet to do a pet unit. I think um, imagination's great. Okay, well, if you did have a pet,
Yeah,
what,
absolutely.
Mm.
what would it be?
And that's what I was sort of doing, gonna go, okay, I won't spend as much time on imasen. We'll go into hoshi and
Ah,
tai, maybe.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah,
Um, but they tend to love animal units, and
yeah,
there's so many
definitely.
cute animal videos and cute animal things. And I tied it in with Burgerman, which was kind of a food, which is my term 4 unit, was kind of a food focused one.
yeah.
So we kind of
Mm.
looked at what animals eat and then as well, and then pivoted into what people eat. And but I
Mm.
because I did Burgerman term 4, it was a bit longer. I didn't time it as well because I wanted them to design their own superheroes. I wanted them to have like a food superhero. That's why I'm thinking I might do with my 9/10s, and because they're very artistic group,
Yeah,
and
yeah.
get them to design. And
Mm.
they're a really good group for like that imaginative thing. Like I remember we did a unit on transport and travel last year, and I was like, okay, how do people get to school? And we had like five normal ones, and then suddenly I had kids who were like, I go by a sky whale. I'm like, okay. And then someone else is like, I go by tank, and I'm like, oh, I don't know the word in Japanese for tank. Let's look that one up. They're really good at that, spitballing ideas, and
Yeah. Well,
so
that's great. You can do a lot with those sorts of classes when they
yeah.
really, you know,
So I'm going to do a one-word image with them tomorrow, Monique.
What
okay.
what is it? Could you explain one word image?
Yeah.
I'll leave it to the expert.
I don't know about that, but I can show you. This is what I did, and you can. Uh, so you can. This is what I did with with the. This was it with the primary school, that we did. Hold on. Oh, these are their. These are the little. So this is. These were the stories, and they were reading these ones. They did a great job. These were the different stories that they co-created. So basically, I'll just get, oh, got to, so basically they choose, where is it? There we go. So they choose, yeah. So we're creating something together, and it's just one. It's very. Oh no, no battery. Sorry. So basically, they choose. I'm so sorry. This is very unprofessional, isn't it? I've just got to plug in.
I can start and you can try and figure it out.
Yeah, there we go.
So they have to decide, and you can give them choices, right? On it's usually an object, I think.
Yeah.
But you can do an animal or something as
Yeah.
well.
So I get them to choose. And so, character wa 動物ですか、物ですか、食べ物ですか, and it's lots of repetition
Mm.
of that language. And then these are hyperlinked. So then um, we'd vote and they'd choose, okay, it's got to be something. It can't be something like SpongeBob that's already been created. It's something original. And then so it'll go through, and if it's Dorbitsu, then there's, some different suggestions. Each slide
あー、すごい。
to,
はい。
yeah. And so they pick on, these are hyperlinked and it'll go to the next one. So if it was mono, so it sort of keeps it a little bit scaffolded so that, um, yeah, there's
Mm.
some control over it. And then, so after each detail has been, you know, decided, then we have a little recap. Dobutsu wa tako desu, or something. Mono wa toaster desu. Tabemono wa pizza desu. And then we go through give it some details. So,
中ぐらい。
yeah. And then, so then they give it a name. And then again recap that, and then choose what other detail that they, and so using these, so they choose whether they want to talk about, the color, the body, their personality. And then
いいな。
we didn't get through all of these because I only had them for a short time, but certainly with some of the older kids, if you have them for more time, they just loved it. It
う
was
ん。
really, really, because they owned this language themselves, they created it themselves. And then from that, that's when the next lesson, we co-wrote a recap of the um, the details.
う
So
ん。
again, lots and lots of recycling of this language, and then they read each other's. So they were, and again, I'm putting in the proper nouns in Romaji or in English. but they were reading really, 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 really confidently. And you know, when you can hear the comprehension in their voice, it's not just memorized, but they know what the meaning is. And this one here was beautiful because there were actually twins in the class. And so, really organically, this extra detail came up. Now, futago is not this was for year three. It's not a high frequency word, but they all remembered futago and they were using it really in context and really naturally. So, yeah, and you can see it's limited language, um, but you know, this one was had a little bit more detail in it. Um, you know, and the super taco and they were laughing and you know, really, yeah, was a really great. Yeah, I encourage everyone to have a go at it because it's easy, low stress, low pressure for the students, and lots of opportunity to recycle high frequency stuff. And yeah, and then you've got your built-in, so lots of interesting oral input because they're designing their own. And then you've got your built-in reading done here, and there's lots that we didn't get a chance to do, you know, a lot more than choral reading. But I would, if I had them again, I'd be, you know, using this as built-in retrieval practice, you know, of high frequency stuff. Yeah,
That initial PowerPoint, do you have that on TPT or something?
I've
That
just
Canva one?
the Canva one. I'm putting
I
it up.
think
Yeah, it's ready to go. I just haven't put it up. So I'll put it up in the next couple of days, Tessa, and let you know when it's
Me
up.
too.
Yeah, okay.
Is that TPT you are putting it up?
Yeah, I'll
Okay,
put this one up on TPT.
great.
Yeah,
That
yeah,
sounds good.
yeah. I definitely recommend that one's really yeah, um yeah, yeah, it's really I love one word image. It's yeah, just
Can I
really
have another look at your process? I think you start with mono, dobutsu, or
yeah. Where is it?
nandake. Mono, dobutsu.
動物、
Uh, where did I?
蜜があったね。蜜。
うん、
Uh,
食べ物じゃないし、
物、動物、食べ物。
食べ物。
食べ物。うーん。
Where do you teach, Tessa? Which state are you in?
I'm in the ACT.
Ah, I'm in
Mm,
SA.
yeah, but I discovered CI a little too late because I used to work at well, not really too late, but I used to work at an IB school and
Sorry.
there was always something missing. And then I found this and then I moved schools. Um,
Seems like
yeah.
you have a big conference next year, Monique, isn't it?
Yeah, that's the big
Oh, the
CI
CI
one
Down Under.
Brisbane or
in
something?
Brisbane. Yeah, that's
Mm,
right. So, so that's super exciting because there's three uh, teach
character language.
teachers from the States that are coming, and yeah, very experienced CI teachers. Yeah, so super duper looking forward to it. I couldn't go last time. It's every second year, and I just couldn't get there. I don't know where I was, but yeah, I'm so excited to be going.
I
Um,
thought it was every year.
no,
Yeah.
it wasn't this year. Um, it was
Oh, so Sydney last year, wasn't it?
yeah, Sydney last
Oh,
year.
Sydney the last time. Yeah,
Yes,
last
yeah,
time.
last time.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
Mm.
So, yeah. So anyway, so that's
Oh, well, yeah. Oh, there it is. Yeah.
yeah. Um,
This is so
So
cute, this
size.
background.
Yeah, I like it.
Yeah, very much. So when you upload it to TPT, Monique,
yes.
um, what format would that be? Would that be like
That's a Canva one, isn't it?
Canva one?
Canva. So um, I'm just hoping, and this is why I haven't put it up before now, because these things drive me crazy. The actual making sure that it's in the right format. So
Mm,
I've had
Mm.
some trouble before that things didn't work, and I'm a bit worried about Canva playing up and not, because these are all hyperlinked. So I want to
mm-hmm,
make sure that, you click on this and it takes,
mm-hmm.
it won't now because it's not in but you
Yep,
can see they're hyperlinked. So so I want that to work for anyone who purchases it.
yep.
So I just want to make sure that 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 will work when I
Mm,
upload it. So it
mm,
might be a shared link maybe to the Canva. I have to look into
Mm.
how the best way to do that, because I
mm,
think the linking the linking part is makes it a little bit more streamlined than if it was just a PowerPoint.
mm.
Mm. Yeah, so yeah, hopefully that I can get that to work. Yeah.
Be
So
good.
yeah. So I'll as soon as I get that done, I'll put a note in the community and alert you to that it's live.
Mm.
I'm happy to be your test dummy if you want.
Me too. Yeah, that'd be good. Yeah.
No worries. Yeah.
I'd still pay for it, but
Mm, mm, mm,
Yeah.
mm,
Yeah,
mm.
no worries. Oh,
because there's a lot of work that goes into that. And I was sitting there
Yeah,
tonight thinking, oh, I want to do a
I
one word image,
know.
but
yeah.
what's the best way? So,
Yeah. Yeah, no, it is. And also like you can do it without a slide, and I've certainly have done it without a slide show, but the kids can get overexcited and get too too excited. This gives a little bit more, okay, it's a bit more contained. So,
structure.
yeah,
Mm,
And
that's
I think it keeps me on track too.
yeah, yeah, absolutely.
Mm,
That's right. So
mm.
um
color.
yeah.
So
You did.
you had a,
I'm sorry, go ahead.
no, you go. There's one.
No, no, I just thought that see, I told you that year eight belonging, term four, I look at community. Maybe it seems like especially one of my classes, a very nice, like have a go attitude. So I
Yes.
might say to the students, let's make our class character
Yeah.
and
Mm,
make them feel like
evil money.
belong to this Japanese class.
That's
So
right.
they can co-create using this
Yes.
idea. That'd be really
Yeah.
good.
And
Mm,
also that's a really nice way, because it can then become the class mascot, and
mm.
they have that ownership over it, and they give it a name, and then if you are then moving into storytelling, it can become a character in a story, which is
Mm.
really nice too.
Yeah, if they continue year nine,
Yeah,
remember year
yeah,
eight, you created this. That'd be
yes,
really lovely. Yeah.
yeah. We did one. This was with the year nines, and I can still remember it. It was Jeff the water bottle, and it was reggae and had reggae hair, and it was it loved singing, but it didn't have any money. It was poor. It was
Hilarious.
yeah, really. Those sorts of things I think really stay with the kids.
Yeah, and then
Yeah.
if I can find someone creative and then create the character students made in
Yeah,
imagination into real thing, I
yeah,
can always have it in my online class or something. That'd be
yeah,
interesting. That'd be
yeah,
fun.
that's right.
Ah.
Yeah.
Mm,
Uh,
mm, mm.
well, I hope that that's
Yeah,
yeah,
thank
been
you so much.
cool. And if you've got any more questions, Kazuko-san,
Yes,
with the,
ありがとうございます。
please feel free to ask. And
Yeah.
I will, you've motivated me to make sure that I have this um,
頑張ってください。
はい。
うん。
and I'll let you know. You can be the first cab off the rank.
Lovely. ありがとうございました。It was really lovely meeting you,
Oh,
Tessa,
really,
too. Yeah,
really
and then
lovely.
Yes, thank you.
yeah, Monique, face to
ありがとう。
face actually in the
That's
conference. I
right, at
saw
the
you.
conference. Yeah,
Yes.
in Adelaide. So that was
Yeah.
really nice. Yeah.
羨ましい。会いたいです。
I should have got the autograph or something, you
We
know.
should have taken a selfie.
Oh, Monique,
Yes.
my school says I can order books. They're going
Oh,
to, so I'm gonna put in a purchase order for, I think we decided on 26 Boris books.
wow.
Fabulous.
Yes.
Hey,
So I honestly didn't think because I've just put in another purchase order. So I didn't think they would say yes when I asked, but they're like, yep.
oh, they
I
must
love
really
So I'm
like
very
that.
you.
excited.
They must really
So
like
it
you.
should come through soon.
Brilliant. Oh, that's great.
Yes.
Now,
They just have to add your website to the sort of list of
yeah.
options. Yeah.
And I think that might be something for me to fill out that they, oh, I don't know. I've had to do that with other schools, just they need some details, and that's fine. I can fill that out, no problem. Let me know what I
Mm.
need to do.
Yeah. I haven't really done this before either, so we'll find out together. But I'm hoping to get it done, submit my purchase order to the school tomorrow so they can add your site onto
Yeah.
the thing. So you should get it next week, I think,
Okay.
sometime.
Wonderful. Yeah. Yay.
Hopefully.
Yeah, that's wonderful. Thanks, Tessa.
Yes. So
Yeah.
I'm very excited.
Yeah, me too.
I was thinking, I think I'll get the scaffolded version. Maybe
Yeah,
should I get a couple of copies of the
I'd get a couple of
extension one?
extension ones because there's always kids that want that, little bit,
More, yeah.
you know. But I think the scaffold's really good to make sure that everybody is succeeding,
Mm,
at that level. And yeah, have a couple of extras for radio. Now you know the story. Now have a go at yeah, without the extra scaffolding. Some kids
yeah. Or
are up.
maybe I'll get like 22 scaffold and get a couple just, yeah,
Hmm, okay.
extension.
Mm.
Can
Yeah,
try that. Anyway, I can always order more for next year, but
that's right.
I
Yeah.
was just so excited that they actually said yes because I'd sort of talked myself into the fact that they would probably say no because I just asked for something else, you know.
I think
So
the older I get, the more I come to, you know what? Just ask. And, people say no if they don't, but, the older I get, the less I
yeah.
worried about that sort
Well,
of
we're a brand new school, so we just put in a big order for stuff like,
stuff.
kendama and
Oh,
uchiwa and just basic kind
Yeah,
of games and toys and sort of that kind of stuff. So
yeah.
that was nearly 500. And then I was like, oh, well, might be less like 500 for all those books as well. Will they let me spend $1,000?
Oh, that's
Apparently the answer is yes.
Ooh,
oh, that's great.
So,
Sometimes you just need to make sure that you spend the budgets
yeah.
before they cut it off
mm,
too. So
yeah.
I've been caught
Well,
out before.
haven't really bought anything before, so yeah, I was hoping that that would be in my favor, and I know they want to grow the Japanese program and all that kind of stuff.
Wow.
So,
Nice.
That's really nice.
mm.
That's great. Thanks for your
Mm.
support.
Do you think, Monique, any of your books would work in a? So I have Japan Club,
Hmm.
and I'm getting today. I had 26 year two. I think there was like one kindy and one year six student, like mostly year twos for some reason.
Right.
Students turning up to my club,
Yeah.
and I've
Wow.
been doing mostly craft and stuff. But I'm like, if they get more,
Yeah.
I'm not going to be able to do craft. So
No.
I was wondering do you think it's such a short, so
Mm.
our first break is 40 minutes. So we get about, by the time they come over, maybe 25 minutes.
Mm. Yep.
So I was thinking of some kind of story. Do you
Yeah,
think
yeah.
it's
Story,
enough time to
yeah,
try it?
yeah, definitely. Just for them just to listen to the story and enjoy it, you know.
Mm,
There's always time for that, just a shared story together where you're
mm,
and as you know, the kids love that, who is Boris, and
yes.
guessing and yeah. So no, I think whenever there's space, story, that's the answer. Story
Mm,
time.
Mm.
Yeah.
Might
mm,
give it a try. Because I
yeah.
spoke to my deputy. I'm like, it's really popular, maybe we could get the other teacher to come up. But they
Yeah.
basically said, look, it's limited supervision. You just have to work with it. Because I get it counted as a duty,
Yeah.
which is great. But they basically said it's you're not going to get anything else. You just have to make it work if more
Okay.
kids turn up. So
Yeah.
I was like, all right, what can I do that's good for a large group of students?
Yeah.
And yeah, so
Yeah.
Mm,
Shared
maybe I'll
story.
give Boris a go. Now
Yeah.
that I'm going to have books.
Yeah. Who knows? You could even do a little one-word image,
Mm,
you know?
mm.
You
Because
could,
they're really they remember stuff. Like
yeah,
I only
mm,
see them once a week, 20 minutes. They all come in, they say konnichiwa,
yeah.
Tessa sensei, and they say arigato. And I'm like, you guys are better than my 7th and 8th students.
Right. Yeah. Oh,
yeah.
Mm,
all right.
Mm.
Well, thank you both for coming
Oh,
and
thank you.
mm.
really enjoyed our time together. And
Me too. Small group was good.
yeah, it was really good, really nice.
うん、楽
So,
しかった。
yeah, 楽しかったです。
ありがとうございました。
はい、ありがとうございました。
はい。
あり
I'll
がとう
see
ご
you
ざいました。
around,
はい。
everyone.
おや
Yeah、
すみなさい。
はい。おやすみな
はい、おや
さい。
すみなさ
また。
い。
はい。
はい、
さよな
まあ
ら。バイバイ
ね、さよな
ね。
ら。